everybody. My name is Jeff, and normally when I start these meetings, I tell people, since 1986, we've been connecting people to Israel and the Jewish world. We're the official travel partner for Hadassah missions to Israel, all these sorts of things. But this is very close to my home community. Even though I live in California now, I'm from Albany. So I started my career in travel working for my mom, who you may know, Diane Rubchinsky, who founded Ayala Tours, if you're from the Albany area. Uh, uh, as a kid, stamping brochures for a penny a brochure on the floor of the office off Wolf Road, or sorry, it was Washington Avenue Extension back then. So always fun for me to be involved when it's a group from the greater Capital District. I don't want to say just the Albany area, of course, wider than that. And for me in particular, I'm always happy to talk to a group about Cuba. Rabbi Cutler and I were together in Chicago a few weeks ago talking about different possible destinations, and I was, I could say, waxing poetic about the impact of a trip like this. Number one, of course, this isn't so much a sales call. Most of you have essentially signed up, are planning on traveling, but I think there's a certain allure to traveling to Cuba. People, because you can't just go there on your own, because of the very, very challenging history of the last 60 plus years between the United States and Cuba. The story is a very interesting one to tell. The piece that I want to also make sure that people understand is that you are going to be, as part of this tour, not just tourists, but you're a bit of a lifeline, a bit of a bridge for the people of Cuba who otherwise can't really receive aid. You cannot send money to Cuba from the United States. You can't ship goods, which they're desperately in need of, down there, but you can bring it with you. So as we get closer to departure, I mean, we're still very far away. This is a great opportunity to just kind of get to know each other and say hello and kind of talk about some of the basics. But as we get closer, we're going to have another one of these meetings where we're going to go through all of the nitty-gritty details, from the various forms that need to be filled out prior to departure to Cuba, what to expect on the ground in terms of money, in terms of electricity, in terms of how food works down there, and of course, as I mentioned, the opportunity to bring aid down there. So we'll be providing for you in advance of travel a list of things that are really in need, and the need is nearly bottomless. And in addition to that, for those that are interested, we can provide advanced reading and viewing suggestions. As I mentioned, the story is beyond interesting. It's confusing, it's confounding, and one of the things that we often say to groups when we put together trips to Cuba is, you will go to Cuba with a lot of questions, and you will leave Cuba with even more. It is a fascinating, and as I said, confounding place. How do people survive after 60 years of not just communist rule, but embargo and conflict with the United States just off the coast of Florida? You're going to meet some incredible people down there, not just your guide, but people from the local Jewish communities and beyond. You're going to hear their stories. You're going to see how they find ways to make ends meet and make things work in a very, very difficult situation. And for a lot of people going down there, when you come back to the United States, you see what we have, this plentiful place that we have through new and different eyes. So I've personally been down there multiple times. Every single time, I find it interesting and like a magnetic force down there. I always want to go back. So I'm excited for all of you that you have the opportunity to travel down there. And as I said, we'll do like a real nitty gritty, every single travel tip, all the things you need to know in advance as we get a little closer to travel. This is more of an opportunity to answer any questions that people might have off the bat. Happy to do so. And as Rabbi Cutler said, kind of an orientation, a chance to meet each other. So with that kind of broad introduction, happy to open it up and answer any questions people might have. Or we could just I'll leave it at that. Okay, Sharon, thanks for raising your hand. Somebody's got to go first.
My pleasure. I'm wondering if you have some suggested reading material or reference that we can do to prepare ahead of time in terms
Absolutely.
of the political situation and the cultural and et cetera, et cetera.
So yeah, we actually have a printed reading and viewing list that we can send out, that we will send out to the group. It just off the bat, to let you know, there's two things. Number one is there's an amazing series on Netflix called Cuba Libre. It's a documentary series. It goes through the entire history of the island. It's well done. It's excellent, and it will really give you a very good orientation on what we're talking about in terms of the history, the very heavy hand that the United States has played in Cuban history. It's a great primer. The other thing that I would say is our very own Professor Stephen Burke, who some of you may know or be familiar with, did a 4-part series for us virtually a couple of years ago on Cuban history from a Jewish perspective. We make that available for anybody that's traveling on our Cuba tours. So if you're interested in getting access to that, those are private YouTube link. We have to give access based on your individual email address. You just let us know and we can provide you with access to that. Those are the two that I want to mention, but beyond that, there is, as I said, a reading and viewing list that we can provide, that we do provide.
Thank you very much. That would be appreciated.
You got it. Carol.
To back up, to add to what Sharon said, I was thinking about this. I think it would be really fun if we wanted to start like a book group, maybe read 1 or 2 books together and talk about it. If anybody would be interested, I could set up a Zoom after, and we could decide on a book to read together.
That's really nice idea, and thank you for volunteering.
Carol, I'll set that. I'll put together some book ideas because I've been starting my process on this. So I'll get some fiction and nonfiction books to a list together, and then we'll share them around, and then we can have the opportunity to have some book groups to start to talk about these things.
That would be
Jeff
amazing.
said he already has a list. Jeff is gonna send us a list.
Jeff's gonna send me the
PDF list that I'll send.
Thank you, Jeff.
You got it.
And Carol, I would love to be a part of that. That sounds great. That's a great idea.
And can we drink mojitos in preparation to get ready for this?
I think you have to. Yeah. I promise you will be so filled with mojitos the week that you are there. It's really is. Listen, the island, as you learn about the agriculture of the island, there's certain things, crops that they cultivated, tobacco, sugar. These are the key crops down there, and it worked its way into the culture very significantly. So mojitos around every corner, and yes, you're probably gonna have a chance to smoke a Cuban cigar or two along the way if you're so interested. Bob.
Go ahead, Bruce. Ask away.
No, sorry.
Nope.
What are the recommendations for vaccinations? When I read the CDC website, there are specific ones that they recommend. What would you recommend or expect?
Yeah, so great question. So the answer is I would recommend checking the CDC website to see exactly what they say. You are not going to be going like into the jungle, as it were. So you're beyond Havana. You are going to Havana, and you're also going to the interior, which is essentially what they call the entire island outside of Havana. But you're going to the city centers. We're not hiking through the jungle or anything like that. So yes, obviously we're talking about tropical climates. So there's always a possibility of mosquitoes, things like that. But yeah, check CDC for the most up-to-date recommendation. Check with your doctor, see if there's anything that they recommend. There's nothing that's required, required versus recommend.
Jeff, could you comment on visas and what kind of arrangements we should make and lead time for stuff like that?
Sure. Yeah. So there's actually going to be 3. You will meet 3 ghosts along the way. No, there's 3 forms that you're going to have to fill out along the way. And we'll send you written information as we get closer about all of them. There's one in advance that's called an affidavit that has to be completed well in advance of travel. The other two are essentially done the week before travel, and we'll send you links with step-by-step instructions of exactly how you fill those out. One of them is called the Viajeros form. It's kind of like the entry form for Cuba, and then the other one is the actual Cuban visa. So basically, those are the three forms that are required. But again, as we get closer and as it's necessary, we will get you the links to complete those forms. And by the way, if anybody has a Cuban passport, please let us know. Obviously, if you're a U.S. citizen, everything we send to you is going to apply. If you happen to be a Cuban citizen, which we do get from time to time, totally different procedures, so we just need to know. Carol and Bill Myers.
I'm Carol's husband. You can call me that.
Hi, Bill.
We just went to Morocco with your company in January, February. One of the things is one, how are we going to travel around, and two, what is the security measures that are going to be taken?
Great questions. Which group were you on?
Rabbi Arnowitz's group.
Oh, so nice. Oh, that's great.
It was amazing.
Thank you. Thank you. Tell Cindy I say hi. If you know Cindy.
Absolutely.
Oh,
okay. Beautiful.
All
right. So number one, great questions. So number one, the buses down there are all modern buses. They're all Chinese made. You will hear the story. I don't want to take thunder away from the guide, but there is an entire story that goes along with Cuba receiving all of these buses and maybe not making full payment on them, but they are nice. They're clean. They're modern buses. There is a bathroom in the back of the bus. We always tell people, if you need it, great, it's there, but try not to. It's not such a pleasant experience to use the bathroom on the bus, but yes, if you need it, it is there. You will have an expert guide, local Cuban guide that's with you throughout. We have outstanding guides down there. They're dedicated. They're passionate. They're well-spoken. Their English is excellent, and they will be with you from beginning to end. In addition to your local Cuban guide, we always send an American Ayelet representative on our groups to Cuba. So although it will not be Alana, who was on the call and will be the operator, the main point of contact for the group, there will be an Ayelet representative that's traveling with the group in addition to your Cuban guide. In terms of security, it's one of those funny things where Cuba, you see it in the news, there are problems. They have issues with food security. They have, obviously, there's the infrastructure there is absolutely terrible, and you will see that for yourself. Security is not really one of the problems. It is probably among, if not the single safest destination we send people to, which is kind of the flip side of the coin of it being a security state. So you really, there's no guarantees in life anywhere that you go, but security is not really a concern walking around. I think the most common thing that might happen is kind of like a pickpocket kind of situation, which if you've traveled all over the world, that could happen in any city in the world. So you have to take the usual precautions. You don't carry things that are, in a place that's easy to be stolen. You don't put a wallet in your back pocket, half sticking out, and these sorts of things. There's a safe in the room. You use the safe. But beyond that, security concerns. We've been running tours down there for, my God, close to 2 decades, and it's not just a safe place, but a warm and welcoming place, which is another thing that we often are asked about is, aren't people going to hold some animosity towards us as U.S. citizens due to the issues between our governments? And the answer is no. We just, time and again, not just the people that are working in tourism that you encounter, but others on the street, people may not be happy with the U.S. government, but they don't have any sort of like personal animosity towards Americans. And actually, they're quite thankful to have Americans coming down there and would like very much for more Americans to come down there. So you'll see that and experience that for yourself. All right.
Jeff, I have a sort of a side question, a tangential question. I had been communicating with Izzy about this. We did not sign up for the Tropicana, and I understand most people did, but not everyone. And as I explained to Izzy, there's another place, another club that we would like to go to. I have no idea where it is in relation to the hotel, but I assume it's fairly close. And we were wondering, A, is it something that we can do on our own? And B, we're hopeful that if we can do this, that others would join us. So how would we arrange for that? And can you comment on, this idea of doing a little side trip, if you will, in lieu of the Tropicana?
Yeah, this is the Guarajito, right? Right. Yep. So it's another, like, there's a few of these kind of nighttime reviews. What's the one they made the movie about, the Buena Vista Social Club, and so yeah, there are a few different ones that it's possible to arrange. It is possible for us to help to arrange that either on the same night or another night if you happen to have availability. It's often we'll take a look and see when we could potentially do it. But I guess the short answer is, yeah, if you're interested in doing that, it is possible to do.
Just curious, if we were to do this alone or even with other couples, is this something would we arrange for a taxi? Would there be a problem getting transportation back to the hotel? How does all that work?
So the American guide that's with you is going to be able to help with that, as well as your Cuban guide. Essentially, from your hotel, you'll be able to get a taxi. And what generally happens there is you arrange for the taxi driver, the same driver, to come and pick you up at a set time. So they come back. There's no Uber.
Okay, great. One other question. What do we do about cash?
So good. That's a good question. We'll talk a little bit more about money because when we get closer, so people remember, because it's 6 months away, you're not necessarily going to remember. But they essentially there's the Cuban peso. The good news is it's much easier than it used to be. They used to have two currencies. They really did. One for locals and one for tourists. They finally eliminated that in 2020, made things a lot easier. Their local, the Cuban peso, is pegged to the US dollar, so it's a 1-to-1 ratio, but you lose 13% in the changing of money. Most of your services are already included. Virtually all of the meals, hotel, entrances, all of that. The packages we put together with Cuba, it's very, very close to all inclusive. So you're not going to need a tremendous amount of cash. You're not going to be able to change anything that you have changed into peso back into US dollar. So you want to be very careful about not changing too much, because once it's changed, that's it. But again, we'll talk about this when we get a little bit closer in terms of how much to bring and exactly where to change it. But yeah, that's you do need some cash, because you cannot use credit cards down there. Your credit cards will not work in Cuba. So yeah.
Cell phones? Will cell phones work?
The answer is yes, but it's very, very expensive to use cell phones down there. The plans, you get into roaming at $3 a minute or something crazy. So most people, we just recommend that you wait until you're at the hotel in the evening, where they do have Wi-Fi. It's kind of like Wi-Fi back in the 90s. It's a little slower. You have to put in this very, very long code to access the Wi-Fi, but they do have Wi-Fi. So it is possible to just kind of let people know, listen, I'm going to be a little out of pocket for the next few days. You can connect in the morning when you're at the hotel. You connect in the evening when you're at the hotel. And then during the day, just kind of live the way we used to live before the internet.
I can't remember that.
Yeah, back in the day.
I actually have a question for Bruce. Why do you want to go someplace else other than the Tropicana? What is it? Where did you hear about this place, and what's the attraction to you and Maxine?
Well, we had read some reviews when the Tropicana came to our attention, and we frankly decided that it might be more fun to go someplace else. And so I scoped out this particular place that Jeff mentioned. The Buena Vista Social Club is another, although it wasn't quite as highly rated on TripAdvisor. So it's really just a matter of, it's just a preference. We weren't impressed with the reviews on the Tropicana. we understand that many people enjoy it, but there are some people who who don't enjoy it. So we decided that doing something else might be better.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Yep. You want to join us?
Possibly.
Okay, you're on.
Bob Matthews, and I don't know what Bob Matthews' wife name.
Mary, hi.
Okay.
Yeah, Bruce, I'm with you. We didn't sign up for the show either because I wasn't sure if it was kind of like kitschy, Las Vegas-y kind of. I didn't know what to expect. So we didn't sign up for it either.
So let me say, as I guess the only person on this call who's been to Tropicana a couple of times, it is kitschy, over the top Las Vegas review from 1950s. That is exactly what it is. It's outdoors in this kind of like jungle-y setting. It goes on forever. If you wanted to stay until 2 o'clock in the morning, you could. Most people are exhausted by 11 and the bus takes them back, but it is exactly all of that. It's one of those things that's just kind of like a quintessential Cuban experience. So a lot of people choose to go. This is not going to change your life in terms of, wow, I can't believe I saw this and this was the greatest thing since sliced bread, because you've probably seen a Las Vegas style review sometime, in your life. But yeah, that is absolutely what it is.
Thank you.
Sure.
I'm excited because this is like Carmen Miranda style. It's going to be great.
Exactly. Lots of feathers and, skimpy outfits and all sorts of fun things. Yeah. All right. So listen, from my end again, this is a great introduction and orientation. We will have another in-depth meeting, usually about a month before departure, when people start thinking, oh, we're actually going, and I've got to really start thinking about it. I got to think about packing and what's going to happen day to day, and we'll go through all of that when we get a little closer. But this is a great chance to kind of get oriented, get excited, and get a sense of what's to come.
I'm excited for this, and the joys of this is, I'm just really looking forward to spending time with all of you guys and catching up with old friends and in this regard. So just to recap what I understand, we're going to meet, you're going to send us links for paperwork as we get closer. We're going, thanks to Carol, we're going to start a reading group, a little book group, and Jeff is going to give me the reading list and we'll pick from that. We got some Netflix films and Steve Burke videos. Bruce, you can go around the corner and just talk to him directly. He lives over on Viewmont, so he's right around the corner from you.
Okay.
And then we'll fill in everybody else who's not on this trip. We have, at this point, I think we have 28 people, or do we have more?
I think we're 28. I think Alana told me there were 1 or 2 people she was talking with that hadn't yet signed up, but were planning to do so. But yeah, right around that.
Yeah. Okay. Good. And this is going to be wonderful, and I'm really excited to be spending time with you guys and sharing in this regard. So thank you.
All right. Well, I'll say thank you as well. Thank you, everybody, for entrusting us with putting this trip together, and we look forward to sharing more information as we get a little bit closer, and then welcoming you in Cuba, and it'll be here before you know it.
Thank you, Jeff, and we'll so look forward to it, and we'll speak to you soon, everybody, and thank you.